Welcome back to part 2 of Crochet Tiger Amigurumi. Thank you for joining me. This next round is a single crochet in the next stitch of that body and the arm. And a decrease. A single crochet and a decrease. That is our repeat. We'll do that all around until we get back to the beginning of this first arm here. And that's where I will meet back up with you. And this is what it looks like now. Don't cut your yarn, as we'll begin on the head next. This is a round of increases, so 2 single crochets in that next stitch and in every stitch all around. And you should have a total of 24 stitches at the end of the round. I will meet back up with you there. Round 19, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. With an increase in the next stitch. And that is the repeat. Continue on like this, and I'll meet back up with you at the stitch marker. 30 stitches total. Round 20 is a single crochet in the next 4 stitches. And an increase in the next stitch. That is our repeat. Continue on, and I'll meet you there. For a total of 36 stitches in this round. And in this round is just a single crochet in each stitch all around for 36 stitches. And in this next round will be a single crochet in each stitch for the next 11 stitches. And 11, followed by an increase in the next stitch. That is our repeat. Do that all around for a total of 39 stitches, and I'll see you there. Rounds 23 and 24 is a single crochet in each stitch all around, for a total of 39 stitches in each round. Continue on, and I'll see you in a minute. Round 24 is a single crochet in the next 4 stitches. followed by a decrease. And we'll do that 5 more times. 4 single crochets followed by a decrease. I will meet you back at the end of that section. We will still have some singles to do at the end of the round. And there's our last decrease of that set of 6. 1 single crochet in the next 17 stitches, for a total of 33 stitches at the end of the round. And I'll be back then. And this round is just a round of single crochets all around for 33 stitches. Don't cut your yarn at the end of this round, as we'll be working on the muzzle next. And getting your white yarn, we'll begin with a magic ring. And place 8 single crochets in that magic ring. And 8. Close that magic ring. And place a stitch marker in that last stitch. And a single crochet at the top of the first stitch of that round. In round 2 is a round of increases. 2 single crochets in each stitch all around, for a total of 16 stitches. Okay, and place 2 single crochets in that last stitch. Replacing your stitch marker. In round 3, a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Followed by an increase. And that is our repeat. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, followed by an increase, and continue all around till we get back to the stitch marker. Okay, thread the needle, so we'll be sewing that muzzle on. Place it right directly in the center of the face and body there, right where the neck meets the body. Bring that tail of the muzzle down and begin sewing on. We'll sew all the way up directly to the top of the muzzle, where we'll insert our nose or sew on our nose. Okay, if you have a safety nose, place it 1 row in right directly in the center. If you don't have a safety nose, you can sew one on in a triangle shape. Continue sewing the muzzle until you reach the last 4 to 5 stitches at the bottom, and we'll place some stuffing in the muzzle. Okay, and place a little stuffing in here. It shouldn't take too much. That looks about right. And continue sewing and closing up that muzzle. And placing that last stitch right directly in the center of the muzzle. Run your thread right directly up under that nose and pull it just a little bit tight. And for good measure, we'll place one more, creating that indentation of those cheeks, just as we did before, keeping that pulled tight. There, that looks good. Keep a good hold on that thread, ensuring that it stays tight. Tie it off in the back with just a couple knots. And one more for good measure. In round 26 is a single crochet in the next 9 stitches. And 9. Place a decrease in the next. And a single crochet in the next 9 stitches, followed by a decrease. That is our repeat. Continue that all around until we get back to the stitch marker. In round 27 is a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Followed by a decrease. We're going to do that for a total of 6 times. So that was 1. A single crochet in the next 3 stitches, followed by a decrease, is 2, and continue on until we get back to the stitch marker, and I'll be back in a moment. Round 28 is a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Oops, I guess I forgot to replace my stitch marker. There we go. And 2, followed by a decrease in the next. That is our repeat. Do that 6 times total, and that should take you back to the stitch marker for a total of 18 stitches. And place a decrease in that last stitch. We'll place the eyes next, so place them on each side of the nose with about 4 to 5 chain spaces in between. I think I had 5, but whatever looks good to you. I think that looks good, so I'll place those backs on. There, so cute. We'll place those accents now, so get a piece of white yarn about 12 inches long And we'll go into the top of the eye, right in the middle. Now, depending on where you want the whites of the eyes, you can go to the left or to the right. My tiger has his on the inside, so we'll go to the right and bring that right down to the center of the eye on the bottom and insert the needle there. Be careful not to pull too tight. You'll lose that white underneath the eye. You just want that resting right on top of the yarn there. Just a nice little accent. Tie that off inside with the yarn that's inside the head there. Gently. And then do the same for the other eye, whether you want it on the inside or the outside. You might have to adjust that just a little bit. That's what it will look like. And then do the same for the other eye. And I'm just going to tie that off again with some loose yarn on the inside of the head. And do that as gently as possible. And you can tuck those loose ends on inside the head there. Thread some black yarn. So just going right up into the center of that eye again where you brought up the white yarn. Leaving about a 2 to 3 inch tail there. And we're just going to go over to the left here. 1 stitch. Just right directly to the left. Insert your needle and pull that gently. There we go. And do the same for the right eye. Right above the eye, where that first white yarn is. And over 1 stitch. Cut that yarn, leaving a 4 to 5 inch tail if you have any, and secure it inside with a couple of knots with the loose tails on inside the head there. Grab your stuffing and we'll stuff that head next, making sure you stuff that neck area and along the sides. Continuing on, 1 single crochet and a decrease. And that's the repeat. And here's that last decrease of the round. We'll cut our yarn here, leaving about a 12 inch tail. And pull that yarn through the loop on your hook. And pulling it tight. So get some more stuffing. And we'll round off the top of that head there. And that ought to do it. Thread your needle here and just insert your needle into the next stitch or where you tied it off here. Insert and come out in the next. Do that all around in the remaining stitches and pull it closed. And run that yarn through the head. Holding that yarn tight, we're going to tie off with a couple of knots. And cut the yarn. Well, let's make the tail. And to get started on that, we need a magic ring. We need 4 single crochets in that magic ring. And 4. Close up your magic ring and place a single crochet in that beginning single crochet of the round. And we'll do a row of increases. 2 single crochets in each stitch all around for a total of 8 stitches. Rows 3 through 10 is just a single crochet in each stitch all around. We'll have a total of 8 stitches in each row until the end of the tail. And I'll meet you there. Okay, so here we are at the end of the tail. I went ahead and added yet another row, so this is 11 rows. I didn't think 10 rows looked long enough, so if you would like a little longer tail, go ahead and do that now. Row 12 is a single crochet in the first stitch and an increase in the next. That's the repeat. Continue on until you get back to the stitch marker. Slip stitch into the next stitch. Cut and tie off our yarn here, but leaving about a 12-inch tail. Now we'll need a little bit of fluff here and stuff that tail. And let's get started on the stripes of the tail. This orange tail here, make sure it's in the back. We'll insert our hook from the inside of the tail and coming down 1, 2, 3 rows in over 2 stitches, that is. There we go. Leaving that tail there, we're going to come over to the right 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bringing our needle in there. We're going to insert it and pop back out 3 rows down, 1 stitch in. We want this second stripe to be shorter than the first stripe. So, inserting it here, 1, 2, and 3. Pulling that gently, not too tight. This stripe back over to the left, just 2 stitches. So it's right directly in the middle of your first stripe. And same thing, down 3 rows, but this time we're going to make this stripe longer again. So we'll need to come out on that 4th stitch. So 1, 2, 3 rows, the 4th stitch. There we go. And now exactly like the first stripe, over to the right 4 stitches. I'm going to insert my needle and out the top. And there's your stripes. We'll do exactly the same for the back. Grabbing your tiger here, we'll do the same for the arms and underneath, and both legs. So finish your tail, do both arms and both legs, and I'll be back when we're finished with those. So I'll cut that yarn there. And I'm just going to tie these, put a knot in there. And tuck them on inside. Thread the end of the yarn that's still on the tail. That looks about right, so position your tail on your tiger to where it looks just about right for you, and begin sewing on. Not the funnest part of the project, but it's got to be done. And there we go. Let's tie off that tail here with a knot or two. Insert your needle on into the body, anywhere. and just bring it back through. And we'll cut that off. There we go. Next will be the ears, so we'll start with a magic ring. And 6 single crochets in that magic ring. And 6. Close up your magic ring. And place a single crochet at the top of that beginning single crochet of the round. Round 2 will be a round of increases. 2 single crochets in each stitch all around for a total of 12 stitches. And 2 single crochets where your stitch marker was. And a single crochet in that first stitch, followed by an increase, 2 single crochets in the next stitch. One single crochet in the next stitch, followed by an increase, 2 single crochets in the next. That is our repeat. Do that all around, and I'll be back in a moment. Cut off your yarn, leaving about a 6-inch tail here. Slip stitch into your next stitch. And pull through the loop on your hook. We'll do the middle of that ear now, so start with your white yarn and a magic ring. And 6 single crochets in that magic ring. And 6. Closing your magic ring and a single crochet at the top of that first crochet of the round. We'll cut our yarn here. We'll pull that yarn through the loop on our hook and pulling that tight. And with the ending tails together, so cutting that other white tail down to about 1 inch, threading your needle with the orange yarn here, hiding that tail on inside. We're only going to come up through that first loop of the white here. We don't want it through both loops. And down through the next. And continue on like so, and I'll see you again when we're finished. And there's the center of our ear here. We're just going to make a knot here and tie it off. I'm going to run that on into the inside between the white and the orange, and then cut it there. There we go. Go ahead and make another just like that one, and I'll see you again when we have two. Getting 6 to 8 inches of orange yarn. We'll use that to sew it onto the tiger. Alright, so we have both our ears here now. Thread one of your needles, and placing that ear at the top where that center hole is, and right even with the middle of the arm, we're going down 3 stitches from that center hole at the top of the head, or 3 rows, and 3. Insert our needle there, and coming up in a stitch in the next row down, making sure it's in line with the middle of the arm, and begin sewing on. I ran my needle back up the length of the ear, back up to the top. Just a little added reinforcement, especially if a child might play with this. I'm going to insert my needle here at the top of this ear into the head, come up over past the center hole of the head, and down 3 rows just like we did on this side. So counting, and even with the left arm now. Pulling that yarn tight, and then getting your other ear. And begin sewing that on. Then we'll make a couple of knots here. And then inserting our needle into the head and coming out the back somewhere. We'll insert it into the next stitch over. And come out the side and cut your yarn. And those are the ears. Okay, here we are all finished. And I had filmed placing each one of these stripes so that you could put them in along with me, but that turned into too long of a video. So each time you put in a stripe, put the next one in 1 stitch in. So 1 stitch on each side shorter than the last. The next one longer.
Back of the head, long, short, long. On the back, long, short, long.
And on the head, I placed the longer one in the center. Well, that finishes up this tiger project. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, and please check out my other videos.